I'm Aparmita. I'm from India and I have a background in UX. So I've been a UX designer for the past 2 years, working in digital products like apps, softwares, etc. I'm interested in the future of digital experiences and how we can design experiences and human relationships with technologies like artificial intelligence, AR, VR, IoT. Design management is about managing creative processes and people. So it could be about tools, behaviors, mindsets to make sure that creativity and innovation thrives in any organization or business. My topic is about human-centered design tools for artificial intelligence startups. So it's essentially about how human-centered design tools can help create humane experiences within artificial intelligence, and how startups with limited resources or no prior knowledge of design can utilize these tools.
So my name is Lena and I'm interested in branding and visual identity. Therefore, my background is graphic design. My interests for the future include combining the business aspect and branding together so we can create successful visual solutions. So basically, design management is how can I, as a designer, utilize my mindset, tools and methods in creating successful business solutions. My thesis relates to that because the topic of my thesis revolves on the idea of how can we elevate design from being visual or design as styling to become strategic design.
My name is Caitlin Monahan. I'm from Portland, Oregon, and for my research thesis I studied gender inclusion within the streetwear industry and how we can implement design management and culture practices into the framework of different brands. Design management means to me thinking about design from the ideation of business concepts instead of the end result. So being able to reimagine industries using design instead of business practice. I think it connects to my thesis because ultimately I was trying to reframe the value of gender within streetwear. So taking design and culture and using it as a lens to benefit different brands, which not only affects underrepresented communities that the brands serve, but also ultimately drives profits for brands as well, so it's mutually beneficial.
Hi, my name is Tim. My undergrads are in cross-media design. I'm very fascinated by graphic design, have a lot of background in graphic design, worked in agencies in Germany before, and now I decided to do my master's in design management. For me, it's a merger between design and strategies and talks a bit about the behind the scenes of design. So what is happening before a great design is realized, and a bit, about that managing and planning of designs. My thesis is actually about how big global agencies are going to perform in the future to keep up with other competitors like smaller agencies and the new challenges given by the digital age and new technologies. So it's a bit a combination of that as well.
So my name is Ruhi Chand and I come from Dubai. I have a background in interior design and I'm very interested in social innovation and social impact. Design management, I think, is a lot of chaos, but you learn how to manage all that chaos. We have so many things we have to go through, like research and asking people questions and finding out almost anything and everything we can. And it's about actually processing it down and condensing it to get outputs that can make a difference in the world. I think I learned a lot about cultural study and how it really matters in context of the project. I realized that social impact doesn't come without persistence, I guess, and design management really teaches you that. My thesis was about railway children in India and Mumbai more specifically, and how their lives can be changed for the better.
So I'm Ritika, I'm from Mumbai. I worked as a graphic designer and I have a knack for visual culture and art and illustrations. To For me, design management is a lot of research and a lot of the strategy that goes behind the research. I worked as a graphic designer and I realized that I was good at craft but not at all the intensive stuff that goes behind it. So trying to balance all of my own knowledge as a craftsperson but also as a person who can think and apply design thinking is why I joined design management. So my thesis is about culture and it's about how to engage people with culture, and I think as a graphic designer people expect you to have amazing designs that suddenly attract a lot of people, but that's not true if you don't have the research and have the skills behind all of that. So my thesis is about engaging people with cultural organizations like museums and galleries and using design as well as the strategy and research that goes behind it to get people there.
Yeah, hi, I'm Jia Yi and I'm from Guangzhou, China. My background is graphic design and fine arts education. I think design management is a subject that connects different areas within creative industry together, like teams, time management, project management. So I think it's gather different areas together. My thesis is about Chinese freelance designer. In my project, I analyze what is current situation for graphic design freelance designer in China and what is future to them and how to address the current issue for them and how to help them to connect different parties. I think especially from in cultural perspectives, because I learned from different cases from other countries and how to fit these kind of cases from fit into Chinese context. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Yolanda. My past background is fashion design, and due to my interest in the community design and innovative urban design, so I changed my background into the design management to explore more about this. I think design management to me is to help me shape my logical thinking, because the creative ideas is always very important, but the logical thinking through the whole project is very necessary to help you go through the whole thing. So this is the most important thing to me. My project is about an exploration to a historic block in my city, and I would like to find the different values to different stakeholders and try to make a framework to connect them, even make them collaborate with each other and make the whole historic block into a dynamic community, not just a tourist attraction.
Hi, I'm Mehak Philip. I'm from India and I have my background in graphic design and I specialize in branding and editorial design. I feel like design management can be whatever you want it to be. I feel like it's like finding the perfect balance between management and organization with your fluidity and creativity. My topic is basically about redefining brand purpose in advertising, because a lot of brands have recently started indulging in woke advertising because it's a trend, and how consumers are calling out at it because it's not authentic enough. So to redefine brand authenticity from a consumer's point of view, that was what my project was. So I think my project was very vast and very complex, and I think the only reason I could find my way through the project and actually reach an outcome was because of all the design management tools that I use and all the research processes that I use. I feel like design management helped me organize and I don't know, just basically just get all my research together and do it step by step without like losing my mind.
Hello, my name is Marlena, I'm from Poland. I'm interior designer and I have a lot of experience in architecture. I'm interested in how people live, how they use their spaces. Design management for me is mainly to finding the balance between different departments and people, and to say it very simple, it's a business side of design and how to use it in creative industries, for example in interior design practice. My thesis is called Quality Conversion, and it's basically how to use empty spaces, the retail spaces in London town centers. And actually, I'm managing and trying to tackle this problem. From one side, the housing shortage. On the other side, how to reach all those spaces. I'm merging those two topics together. Yes, and finding the right balance between them.
Hi, my name is Xingxing, and I was major in public relations, and my interest in architecture and field like design, art, something like that. I think it's to find a balance point. Like from people from business background or managed background, they need to be more creative and they need such thinking. So as to the designers part, they need to manage their process or to be more practical and to have a whole picture of the thing. So I think it's to look for a balance point. My final major project is about audience development for art museums in Shenzhen, my country and my city. My city is a very young migrant city, so people there, the average age is 33 years old. But though the government paid much attention to increase or to develop new art museums or cultural institutions, people there have little intention to visit them, including art museums, because many reasons. One important thing is art museums there have limited budget to do marketing, so they can't reach out to the new audience. So I want to find a solution in between these two parties to bridge the gap.
Hi, my name is Saskia. I come from Germany. I have a background in international business, but I've always been interested in art and design. So I decided to deepen my knowledge in the field and study design management. Design management for me is about finding a solution for any kind of challenge. It could lead to an outcome like a product, a service, or even a process. For me, it's all about the process. You go really deep into finding the root cause of a challenge and building a solution around it, taking into account all the stakeholders involved and all the humans at the center of the project. My thesis is about artificial intelligence because I came across this term a lot and I wondered how does it really affect the design field and especially the product design. So I looked into the product design process and how artificial intelligence can be applied to enhance the design process. So it relates to design management in a way that product designers and design managers in the future will have to make the decision of where to apply artificial intelligence in their process. And I wanted to give them a basis to decide where to add it in a value-adding way.
So my name is Zheng Chenxu. You can call me IC, from China with a background about interior design and landscape architecture. Through experiencing a lot here, and now my interest is focused on the issue of young people's mental health problem in China. So it's very challenging for me, this project. I think for me, design management is about all the process behind the design, how it display towards people. So it's by inspiring you a lot about the generating the problem and finding the problem solution. So that is the thing I thought about design management. Yeah. Actually, I think design management inspired me a lot and helped me a lot in redefining the problem and find the real issues and pain point of the target audience. And by interviewing and research into the stakeholders, target audience, and expert, I can find a proper solution. I find the conditions I can use in the problem-solving process. So I think it brings a lot of things from design management.
My name is Nadia. I'm from Indonesia. I have a huge interest in graphic design. But I think it's changed now because I learned design management, so I don't know whether I figure it out still in graphic design or in managing stuff. So for me, I'm a really visual person, but I don't really understand how to pinpoint the real problem. So design management really helps me to figure out the problems instead of going through the execution through visual. So it's really helpful for me as a designer to find out the problem first before getting to the execution. That's design management. Okay, my thesis is about Museum of Fine Arts and Ceramics in Jakarta. So I would like to make a branding strategy for it because there's an issue of lack of awareness and lack of visitors in the museum in Jakarta. So yeah, design management helped me to bridge between the audience and the museum to meet into one vision. So they can have an interest in visiting the museum. Really, because I can really figure it out the target audience and what problem and what is the real problem instead of like the one that I assume at the first time. And then I meet a lot of people from different backgrounds, so it helpful for me to get the ideas what I'm gonna do in the end.
Hello, my name is Ikenna. I'm a product designer and I've done interior design, but mainly now I'm trying to look into design management and see how I could apply certain tools to problems to design. So design management is about the system, it's about looking at a problem or looking at a space and saying, okay, what are the issues in this space? What are the problems that have to be identified and how can we solve those problems in that space? And design management gives you the tools and gives you the knowledge and confidence to be able to apply those tools. Project is about redesigning education because I felt like 21st century education was outdated. There's certain things like, for example, still the core subjects that are being taught are not in line with what future employers want. And also some of the system, like the classrooms, the way they're set up, doesn't really reflect how the wider environment outside of education is working. So design management allowed me to actually understand who my stakeholders are and what their problems might be and dive into that space and say, okay, if we were to design the system, what would it look like? And design management actually gave you like a future outlook on things. It allows you to design that future and say, okay, I want to set a specific outcome and be able to get to that outcome if you just plan it properly and like put certain things or create a framework. I would say that probably works.